Welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's just finished. West Ham United 0, Brentford 2. We've just been outclassed and absolutely battered by Brentford. It was lucky it was only 2-0. They scored the second goal in the last minute of the game. They deserve to win 3 or 4-0 tonight. Make no mistake about it. We were lucky to go behind, to only go 1-0 down at half time. We did absolutely fuck all, and we're lucky to only lose that 2-0. That was a shambles. That is one of the worst I've seen us play. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say a massive thank you. It's a huge super chat and a very kind support and donation from Wolfhound. Thank you very much. Saying thank you for sitting through that with us. Makes you feel so low watching that. Transfer window is the only thing that can save us now. The worst thing is after that, and my emotions are quite high right now, I'm not even sure we'll get to the transfer window and have an opportunity to save us. I am incredibly worried off the back of that. I've been quite comfortable with the appointment of Nuno because I thought he was a good appointment from what was out there and what's available. I thought it couldn't be worse than Graham Potter. I would argue what we've just seen was worse than what Graham Potter has served up. And I know it's only his third game, and I know he's only been here for a month, and people say, oh, you can't turn on the manager yet. But you can talk about it, right? Because to then say that you can't discuss the manager, I think would be foolish. And it's not all on him tonight. The players were shit. The players were absolutely shit tonight. Their attitude is pathetic once more. But Nuno made some big, bold, brave calls. And I don't always agree with what a manager does. But sometimes I can understand why he's doing things. I can get what he's trying to do. I just don't necessarily like it. But I can understand it from his perspective. I don't get it. I don't get what he was trying to do. All his scars at right back. What the fuck was that about? Walker Peters left back's okay. He's played there plenty of times in his career. The midfield 2/3. Well, it was a pairing. It looked like 4-4-2 to me in the first half. Midfield pairing of Irving and Souček. I've not seen any West Ham fan want to see that. There's a reason for it. But scars at left back made no sense. And at half time, after seeing it for 45 minutes, there was nothing to say, this is why we're doing it. It's not like in possession, Scars was having a blinder. I thought he was okay. I don't think he had a bad half, but there was no reason to put him right back. It's not like in possession, we were going down the right, cutting it back, and Scars was whipping it in. It was working. There was absolutely no reason. The only reason he will give is the fact he had 2 weeks with them on the training ground. Well, we look dog shit. And I say it's a bit of a joke, but there's a little bit of a serious twinge to it as well. When in training, you're asking Tadibo and Kilman to defend against Callum Wilson, they're probably going to look all right. They're probably going to look like they're coping. But here's the other thing. And this is very harsh on Wilson because he didn't participate. But you're using Wilson as a striker to test him in training. You don't even rate him yourself. 3 games now. He's not even had a minute. He's not even come on the pitch. So clearly you don't rate him. That's the guy that the defenders are training against in the 2 weeks. Of course they're going to look all right. We couldn't defend for shite tonight. We were absolutely honking in defence. The midfield was non-existent. For 10 minutes, I thought we were stringing a few nice passes together going forward, but ultimately we had one shot, which Fernandes took from distance. Then Bowen had one at the end of the half. Decent effort, good save by Kelleher. But our defence was getting ripped apart. Every set piece was being won by a Brentford player. Ayer, Collins, Van der Berg, header. Thiago should have scored, hit the bar. We were getting battered, and it was only a matter of time before they made it 1-0, and they did through Thiago, of all players. We were lucky it wasn't 2-0. It should have been 2-0. Let's be completely honest here. It should have been 2-0 at halftime. That flick over Areola, a fantastic flick, just ever so slightly offside. But it would have been justified to be 2-0 down. The first goal, Areola's unlucky. He gets a strong hand on it, but it's not enough to keep it out. But what the fuck? It's so simple. Brentford's main tactic in open play is a long, direct pass, trying to get it over your defence, trying to get in behind your defence, getting the fast players to run onto it. They tried it a few times. It worked a few times. We got away with it. This time it didn't. Over the top. Shadow's coming running in. Kilman's just fucking Max Kilman. Falls to Thiago. Well, doesn't. Falls to Shadow. He does well. Gets his head up. Gives it to Thiago. Gets enough power on it. It trickles into the back of the net. went in 1-0 down, and Nuno had to make changes. Right, you've tried something. We don't know why, but you've tried something. It's not worked. We need to make changes. And it come through. He's made 3 changes. Oh, brilliant. He's changing it. He went to 3 at the back, man. He left Thiago on, who was struggling. Took off Fernandez, who did not play very well. Took off Scars, who, whilst I don't think he was great, I don't think he was terrible. And Walker Peters, who I thought was doing okay as well. I thought our fullbacks were doing... Our issue with our defence, I don't think it was our fullbacks. I think it was the centre-back. I think it was Kilman and Thiago. I think they were the problem in defence. And also how much defending we were trying to do. But nevertheless, he went to 3 at the back. And we got worse. I think we arguably got worse. It got easier for Brentford. Every 5 minutes, it felt like Brentford were just getting better. Damsgaard was just running through our midfield. And then he goes and makes another sub. And he takes, at one point, Marshall came on eventually. Kyle Marshall came on. And he replaced Andy Irving. That was it. Andy Irving went off. Callum Marshall went on. I'm all for bringing on a striker. I think we should have started with one. But nevertheless, he finally came on. But he took off one of the 2 central midfielders. At one point, there was 3 Brentford players up against Thomas Souček in the middle of the pitch. Paqueta was the highest player at the pitch. Because when Marshall came on, Paqueta was meant to go in midfield next to Souček. He fucked off. He was pressing the Brentford defence and goalkeeper next to Marshall. Somerville was on the left. Bowen was on the right. Souček was in the middle of the pitch with Henderson, Yarmouk, and Damsgaard. What the fuck? They were just running through us. And then to solve it, he takes Thomas Souček off and puts on Guido Rodriguez. Man alive. It might be only his 3rd game, but I'll tell you what, that defeat is on Nuno as much as it is on the players tonight. He got his starting 11 wrong. He got his formation wrong. He got his strategy wrong. Then he got his subs at halftime wrong. Then he got his subs in the second half wrong. He got pretty much everything wrong tonight, Nuno. I am really, really worried after watching that. Really worried. Because when we appointed him, I thought, okay, this is the guy that's going to get us hard working. We weren't that. He was going to get us organised. We weren't that. He was going to make us hard to beat. Fucking hell. We were easy to beat. The only thing he's made hard is to score. That's the only thing he's made difficult. We were better against Everton and well, not Arsenal. We were better against Everton than we were against Brentford today. It's had longer on the training ground. We've got worse. And the players don't get off with it. It's not all on Nuno because the players were shit as well. Kilman was shit. Tadebo was shit. Paqueta was shit. Bowen wasn't very good. Somerville was trying. Irving wasn't very good. I was comfortable. When Nuno came in, I felt comfortable. I thought, we'll be all right. We'll stay up. We've got enough winnable fixtures. This was one of them. And this was an important one because this is the start of that 4 games. And we've lost it. And tonight, when I was watching that, it was hard not to watch and think, we are fucked. And I know a lot of people have thought this. I know people say, oh, it's about time you thought we were going down. I thought we were going down under Potter. I was hoping the appointment of Nuno would prevent us from getting relegated. And after what I've seen from Everton, I felt comfortable feeling like that. I was happy with what I saw against Everton. But tonight, my word, is starting 11 is really concerning because here's the thing. We are missing 2 players. That's it. One of them's George Earthy. Okay. So I'm almost going to say you're not allowed to include him to some extent because of his status in the squad at the moment. The other player he's missing is Fulkrug, who I didn't really want to see. I wouldn't have wanted to see start anyway, even if he was fit. Everyone else is fit and available. Everyone else is. Just the squad is only going to get smaller. You're not going to get a game when you've got literally everyone available. We've got the African Cup of Nations around the corner at some point with Wan-Bissaka and Diouf heading away. That's what he's come up with. I am really concerned. Do you know what? That's underselling it. I am very worried about what he's come up with tonight. When that lineup come out, no one was happy. The most positive people were, okay, let's see what he's got. Maybe he's going to make. There was a lot more concern. I was nervous for the game, seeing the lineup, and was very nervous for the game. But that was with the assumption Ollie Scars was playing left back. What was he doing playing right back? I just don't get it. Hopefully he gets asked, and hopefully we get an answer as to why Scars was playing right back. It felt strange. The second half, I always think at halftime, how you start the second half is a reflection of the manager's team talk a little bit in that dressing room. And when we come out in the second half, it was just a continuation. It was like we hadn't actually had a half time. It felt like the game had just stopped. We swapped sides. We made 3 subs and the game continued because it continued in the exact same manner. We were getting ripped apart. Jordan Henderson was the best player out in that pitch by a mile tonight. He ran the show out there. Damsgaard in the second half was really influential. Thiago was bullying all of our centre-backs. Not one player played well tonight. Somerville tried, looked dangerous on occasions. That was it. That performance, the attitude, the tactics, the subs, yeah, that's worried me a lot. That is worrying me a lot. And I appreciate right now I'm speaking immediately after full time, so your emotions are going to be at their peak, right? But it's hard not to be. There's been a lot of people worried for a lot longer than I. Like I said, I was comforted by the appointment of Nuno. But tonight I needed to see evidence from Nuno that he was the right appointment. There might not be such a thing under this board at West Ham United. I'm not sure there is a right appointment. But I wanted comfort that he was the guy that was going to not get us relegated. I was looking for evidence. I've actually just been handed the complete opposite on a plate. Not on a plate, on a fucking platter. Here's evidence as to why I ain't going to keep you up. 2 weeks. And also, let's get this right. We got away with those set pieces. Did we concede from a set piece? No. They were winning everything. Shada, not from a set piece, hit the bar that should have scored. Thiago hit the bar. They should have had more than 2. They were unlucky not to score more than 2. We were pathetic out there from the 12th minute right up until full time. Absolutely pathetic. There was no response from the players. There was no response from the manager. I feel like we've just watched a game from a team that knew their manager was ready to get the sack. And I feel like I've just watched a manager that knew he's ready to get the sack. That felt like the final game of a manager before he was ready to get the sack. That's what it felt like watching that. If that team played in Soccer Aid, we'd get beat. We would get beat by Ralph Little, Gordon Ramsay, and Stephen Bartlett. They would fucking beat us tonight. We were pathetic. There's nothing positive to come out of it. The biggest positive for West Ham is it was only 2. We only got beat 2-0. Mathias has got injured. Hopefully it's nothing too bad, but it looked pretty serious. He had to go away on his little go-kart. And the reason I mention him, he didn't play bad, by the way. He was fine when he came on. But we need him for Leeds because we can't have that. We can't have Kilman and Tadibo again. No chance. No. We cannot have them. I don't have a desire to see Igor play centre-back, but suddenly I fucking got one after watching that. Hopefully Mathias is okay, but it looked like a bad one. It was his hamstring. He couldn't even walk. I think it's safe to assume he ain't going to be fit for Friday. So we're going to have to go with what we've just seen. My word. Anyway, I feel a bit better now for that rant. Thank you very much. I think it was bubbling up. When I do the watch along, I try and not rant too much because people are watching me. You guys are watching me. It's different. Before we disappear, I just want to say thank you to the support. Stephen, thank you very much. Thanks for sticking watch along. I'm going to blame you for downing tools. It's my job. If you're having a shift at work, you can't just go home, can you, Stephen? You've got to continue. I'm the same. I'm just continuing my job. Thank you very much, James, for £2 super chat and the support. Thank you to Andy. I don't see a January window fixing this. Too many things need fixing. It starts at the top. We're banging trouble. I completely agree. I don't think we'll get to it. At this point, we're going to get to January and be cut adrift, and it's going to be damage limitation. Thank you, Brian, as always, for the support. And again, thank you to Wolf as well. Thank you. Appreciate it a lot. I'm going to disappear. I'll be live tomorrow night. I don't know what time. I'll do the debrief show as always. I just don't know exactly what time I'll be live. I'll put it up as a community post. But thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for listening to me rant away. I appreciate the support. It means a lot. Before you go, if you don't mind, dropping a like, subscribing. Feels a bit shit asking to do that now, but if you wouldn't mind, that'd be appreciated. Tonight's a bad, I don't know how to describe it. Tonight felt different. This didn't feel like one of those games where we just get our pants pulled down and we get a little bit of a slap. Tonight felt like a performance with no solution. Like I watched it, there was no unlucky story. There was no, oh, well, he had a good game. There was nothing. There was nothing positive to take from it. If anything, there was, like I said, the injury to Mathias. There was a lot of reasons to be terrified for the next game against Leeds. We've just got... The reality is, I know it's only his third game. I keep saying that disclaimer, but you've got to speak about it truthfully. We're reviewing the match and that's it. Nuno just got completely outdone by Keith Andrews in his first managerial job. Every player on the pitch got outdone by their immediate opponent, by Brentford. Now, whilst Brentford are a well-run club, before the game, they were 3 points ahead of us. They were one of the teams we were looking at thinking we need to finish above them if we don't want to go down. And we've just got completely outclassed by them, like arse handed to us big time. That wasn't just a defeat. That was a hiding. That is not good.